Hey everybody, what's up? So, I come in the name of the Lord, who is the King of my heart, the Lord of my life, and the lover of my soul. I adore him. Just take my word for it. Don't think that I'm some false prophet. Nothing in me is false. Everything in me is only truth, because Jesus Christ, the Son of God, has approved my heart because I just gave it to him, and he owns it, so he's the one who's in there. And my heart is my whole entire being, so I only have truth in me, so that's what's going to come out. And that's why I'm very excited, because this entire time I have been very almost irritated, a little bit like agitated, because something was not right? Something was not right, and it was because the Pentecost was coming around and everybody was proclaiming rapture, rapture, rapture. And I've been through so many raptures. So in just a little bit about myself, I grew up very unconventional, but my life has been awesome. I grew up in the foster system, but one of the foster families that I lived with, they were non-denominational Christian. They were a cult. By the time I was like 7, I knew all about David Koresh. I knew all about that whole thing. I knew all about the dollar bill. I knew, like, they were conspiracy theories. That's how the non-denominational little Christian sects, that's what they do. They read the Bible, they have little gatherings and powwows here and there and all that stuff, and they act like a regular church, but nothing is like that fancy schmancy, really big, and like, thousands of people. It was like maybe like 4 or 5 families kind of thing. So it was very communal, and they would talk about the end times all the time, and I'll be there as a little kid just like listening, and I would learn about like all these conspiracy theories before we even had YouTube. Like, that's how they were. So that's where I grew up, but at a certain point I had stopped, right? So I haven't gone to church in I don't even know how long, and whatnot, and all this stuff. But however, do not let that discourage you by thinking, oh, well, I'm not a believer and I'm not a Christian. I was baptized when I was young in one of the most beautiful spots in the entire world, right in front of Mama's Fish House, right past Paia in Kauai View. In this little cove, and it is beautiful and gorgeous, and Mama's Fish House is an awesome restaurant that is like, what, $70 for a drink, so it is high price, high maka up there. That's where I was baptized, and I have Jesus in my heart this whole entire time, and I promise you that he has been with me even though I have not been thinking about him, but throughout my life, especially when things were going sour, I would definitely think about them and be like, why the hell are you doing this? I hate you. Like, I hate you. So, I have a relationship with God and Jesus. And if they did not like me way back then when I was cursing them, they would have left me a long time ago, and I would not be here talking to you. But now I am, because my purpose has come to pass on the Pentecost. So, the Pentecost, the day of harvest, everybody's talking about the rapture. And I've been through many, many raptures. Many raptures. And everyone now has more than one, because the lady with the crown over her head, and this is going to that, and everyone's like, the rapture date, and then all of a sudden there's a huge amount of people on YouTube coming up. I had a vision, I had a thing, and they might not say a date, but they will put it on top of their little title bar, May 21st, rapture. I'm like, what is this rapture? So I was looking in the Bible, and for even the word rapture, apparently it is used, but it's very disambiguated. Like, it's only used because it's the same word as this word from Greek to Hebrew or something like that. So, whatever the case may be, rapture is politically not correct, but still basically correct. So, this is what I am going to tell you today about the rapture, and this is my time to tell you the truth about it. Every single time, the thing that was agitating me about it is because whenever someone would make a date, they would have everything in order about putting it together, from cosmological to like the minutest detail. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, this guy is right, but how come no man knows the time or place, or the time or place? That means they can't have a date. Like, but this guy is telling me that this is what God is pointing to. Like, do I look at this guy's finger, or do I listen to God? And I'm like, well, hello, of course you listen to God. If Jesus Christ, the Son of God, said, I don't even know the date, only the Father does, and someone says, oh, well, Daniel has told me that this is the rapture. And so everyone look, because everything's lining up. Blah, blah, blah. Well, Daniel's not God. So like, no. He was talking about something else, not the rapture. So like, don't, anyway, that was my irritation. But the fact remains is that Pentecost came. I was very excited about it. And the rapture didn't happen or whatever. I call it being approved. That's what I like to say, being approved. It didn't happen. But, however, something did happen. My awakening happened. I was revolutionized. I was revealed. My brain unclogged, and all these thoughts started coming. So if you can even look on my YouTube video, you'll see like video. Since Pentecost, since my first video where I'm all like, hello, I'm like, I don't know how to do these things. I'm not good at it. If I know that I'm being recorded, I feel like I'm not being my true self. But I'm working on that. So this video might be kind of long. So I encourage you to go on top of that little screw-looking thing, that little nut and bolt-looking thing, push it and put the speed on 1.5. I know I'm talking fast right now, but at the same time, I hope that you can understand me. And when it gets to the important points, I will definitely go a little bit slower. But then you can get through the video faster. You can even skip through, you know, push your screen or go like, 10 seconds forward. The point is this, is the answer to the rapture. Or, I'm going to say rapture because that's what everyone uses. That's the soundbite. The rapture. I have been very, almost discouraged to say what has happened to me because I did not want to shake anybody's faith. Because and then I started not doubting because I knew what happened to me. But at the same time, I was like, but, like, what? Like, how do I say this to someone, and if they're not going to look at me as one that was raptured. But I'm going to tell you, I was approved. I was raptured. I tried to say that online when, after I was marinating about how I could say this. So I said the word enraptured, because that maybe was the sense, like this, I just went somewhere real fast and it was like very blissful and very real. So real, in fact, like I hurt my shoulder, and I'll tell you that story later. But yes, I was raptured. I was approved. I was with Jesus Christ, the Son of God, who is amazing, holding his hand. I looked like a little kid. I went before the judgment seat and everything. I saw it all, and I was there, and it's changed my life completely. This is before the Pentecost, okay? This is like in November of last year. So like this has been with me. But ever since then, I've been telling everybody that I am a child of God from the kingdom of heaven. And I have everlasting life. I have been approved by Jesus. He has told me, take heart, like you've done good. Like that's what he said. And he's awesome. And he even squeezed my hand. And ever since then, even when things, my world self, my human self comes through, and I'm like, my hand gets squeezed, and I see him, and he says what he told me. He's like, hey, I'm with you. That's all he said, 3 words, and instantly all fear's gone. Like, it's so awesome. I've been raptured, and I've been approved. And so since then, the Passover has awoken to me, like, I got to let you guys know that you need to fulfill your faith. It's your faith that's not filled. If you're proclaiming rapture dates, your faith is not sound. And it's not your fault. Everything that everyone's saying, and everyone's leading, and everyone that is having a dream or a vision and saying like, this is what was told to me and this is what it's pushing towards. I'm not saying you're wrong. It is very right. You are genuine to your point. But everybody right now in the global scale, national scale, is in cognitive dissonance. So cognitive dissonance is only a half-truth to the limit of your sensibilities, and then you stop it there, never going on, but you cap your own ceiling, saying that this is the truth because I have put everything together and this is all I know. So there's nothing more beyond that. So it's a half-truth that you proclaim as a truth, and then it turns into a common sense because everybody else is in cognitive dissonance. Okay? That's what cognitive dissonance is. You cannot proclaim a half-truth and think that you can proclaim it as truth, because a half-truth is not a whole truth. So therefore it is a lie. Even in all honesty, it's a lie. That's why I only have truth. I'm not even honest, because I feel like honesty has a shadow of lie in it. That's why when people talk to you and all of a sudden they'll be like, well, to be honest with you, whenever anyone ever says that, I'm just like, what were you telling me before this? Like, why were you not even trying, like, just tell me truth, you know? So, That's what has happened. And because of that, everyone's focusing on the rapture and that Jesus is coming back and not focusing on the Passover weeks and the reason for that date, and the reason that we're supposed to be thinking about it, okay? And everyone's thinking about Jesus. And the whole fact that we have the Old Testament with the New Testament.